Sliding Biden and Harrison. No, this is beautiful. This is definitely beautiful. Reason why is because, like I said, you didn't have enough votes, so it just led me to the point where, like I said, man, casualties and things of that nature, because you would rather duck and hide like you've been doing this whole campaign. You duck and hide. I see you hiding, jumping into your little, you know what I mean? Like I said, how can a vice president of a two-time president be declared a president after a president? It's something already, like I said, it's already smelling a little fishy. Just hide out, man. Just hide out and don't have too much to say, because, like I said, even Trump doesn't have too much to say, because, like I said, I claimed the victory because of the simple fact is neither one of the candidates had enough votes in due time, and the rest of them votes was mine. So instead of dividing the votes into two, we now had to divide the votes into three. And like I said, I remain still victorious, running high. Like I said, you're going to try to take away everything that happened during the pandemic, which is remote learning, which I doubt if you want to go that route. Reopening certain situations, which you already starting to do that, but you got a major traffic jam everywhere. And then you got so-called quarantines and so-called not quarantines. Why? Because you'd rather establish some outer things inside of an outer situation. I see where you're going with this whole strategic outlook, but the wrong part of it is there is no wrong part to it. Continue down this slippery slope as you deem fit. But like I said, the good thing is I finally got down to what it was and who it was that was working together. That's what I said. I finally got down to it, and then I said, look, where the numbers at? I said, oh wow, this is interesting. Where the numbers at? And it shouldn't take several days for you to figure out where the numbers at. It's simple. Democrat, Republican, or other. I happen to be majority of the other because I started my campaign several years ago, and I was the head runner up. But like I said, you came with 1 million runners up, and salute to those runners, but they didn't last throughout the outcome. And I looked at the outcome. There was no outcome. It was just you don't have enough votes. So Trump impersonator interrupts Vice President Mike Pence. Like I said, you can call it an ex-vice president, or you can call it a vice president, because that's what Joe Biden is. Ex-vice president. Now, supposedly, allegedly, from what you're trying to make him be the president. Like I said, I don't think he's prepared for all of that when it comes down to it. And then I said to myself, well, it was a situation there where I said to myself, this is bigger than I thought. Because still to this day, I didn't find something that should have had at least just a snippet of something on it. But then I said to myself, this got to be pretty big in order for this to take place and happen. And I said, oh, okay, it's interesting. Now, with that being said, after you didn't do the kitchen sink at me, and everyone else, by the way, what you going? What is there to lie about now? Because periodically, internally, you in a strain. And it's because of not making what I said make. But you got a chance, but even in that chance, it's going to take time. So are you willing to put up with how long it's going to take or not. That's the question I have for you, America. As your acting president from 2021, from 2020 and beyond. As I can't set an expiration date. This is not up to me. Nearly 3 in 4 think Trump did not take appropriate virus precautions. No, don't say it now. Say it then. Because when I was saying it, as like I said, people were still struggling in this pandemic and they don't want to admit it. And that's fine and dandy with me because I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. But a pandemic definitely states for bad news. And with you trying to force reopening in certain rural areas and trying to put that in the face front of your advertisements, which I said they're suffering also. But like I said, Multi Enterprises is still on the rise. And shout out to the non-illegal legal situations taking place. With meaning that in a pandemic, everything should be legal. It's a pandemic. It's defined as, like I said, what it's defined as in several of my previous videos. But no one wants to get down in definitions because I didn't make them up. And that's why I need to create my own definitional terms, my own dictionary for this so-called thing that you want to call me, which I don't subscribe to, which is black. Did the dictionary points of it. And I don't symbolize with that. I'm looking for the greater good. And from your definition to be black, that's the complete opposite of good. So what you call it? Pure. Yeah, I need that on the race ballot. And we're going into that. It's just death by definition. Don't underdefine me. Define me if you deem fit. But I don't justify that you should. It's just wrong. Because I can't justify whether you want to be this or that. But if you somehow, some way seduced it that way and accepted it. No blame. ABC News finds 54 cases invoking Trump in connection with no. You had your chances and you went with that. Now you don't want to go with that. So now you're going after something else. And like I said, don't do it because you're going to fail on both ends. And like I said, you don't want to fail on both ends. You already failed on one end, which is what you try to do with Trump. Now it only led me to what I said before. It had to be bigger than I thought. Just to know that much and do that. Then I said, you already pointed me in your direction. So it's a win-win situation. Win-win situation. You know? Because you're in the pandemic just like everyone else is. Now, the matter of time that you would accept it, you did. And then now you got a new one in there that doesn't want to accept it thoroughly. Because now you have reopening of certain situations and you want to justify this new president as what? Ruling what? Oh, yeah. But you don't have enough votes. And like I said, you're going to put them numbers up there probably by next week sometime. And it'll be an onslaught of this new wave of whatever. And like I said before, it is not justifiable in a pandemic, no matter what president it is. Rifts emerge, and then I said I gave Trump plenty of chances to do as, you know, the people needed. The people said, nah, we're gonna work our way through this one. This is not workable. It's not an end in sight for this disease. And then you want to call it colon cancer. The immune system is part of your colons. You saying up here, the neck and all of that. Down below has its own. There's 2 respiratories. You can throw up or you can defecate. And like I said, everything doesn't come out of that, that bottom the way it's supposed to. But then you say it's something else. And I'm like, well, you can say whatever you want to say. You have the freedom of speech. Now, it's up to the people to decide. But like I said, the mind is so undecided due to what took place before. And I said, well, I'd rather not expose that part yet. I want to see what you're going to do. Because you got to do something. And what I'm saying is the complete same thing that Little Hands had tried in the beginning. So go ahead and try it again if you think it's going to work. But like I said, the people following my guidelines if possible, and the fact that you want to take my guidelines for your own and then, just leave it up to, it's unbelievable. No, it's believable. The thing is, I have to wait the same way that Biden is waiting. You say your job numbers is coming back. Create new jobs, numbers. But at the same time, it's only industrial work that's being done. Why? Because it's testosterously needed due to the fact that Trump didn't do it. So you're still pushing the points that's being burned already. That's why the traffic jams and the come on, man. When Trump got in there, the traffic jams hit like that. You spend more than the time that you expected, leaving the world in more frustration. But that's okay too. Democrat Shapiro re-elected in Pennsylvania. Oh no, not Pennsylvania. Oh man, it's Attorney General in Pennsylvania. New rules and regulations and acceptance to anything placed on a matter of brotherly love. Oh man, it's any of your superstars coming back there though? I just want to know, man. It's like I said, I think you got a lot of superstars coming out of there, man. But will they come back? U.S. results: Trump's son attacks Republicans for weak backing. I mean, listen, they was in his corner. Everyone was in his corner. Now it's a whole nother game plan. But then I said to myself, no one was in my corner. Except Grammarly. Shout out to Grammarly, my sponsor, man. Show a salute to him. Except my sponsors. My sponsors was backing me to be victorious. And it's not about the election victory. It's just about doing the right thing victory. And I realized that society doesn't want to do the right thing. It would rather leave that up to the future. And I said, well, if the future is learning from the past, then how could that even be possible? So, like I said, Moontie Enterprises is now working on mind reconstruction diagnostics for the world and rural areas that need it, which is redefining your aspects to everything and anything, because America has stamped it that everything and anything is acceptable. So why not induce that and make it legal? I mean, as far as any and everything, except for, the pretty much the 10 Commandments. Beautiful, woeful moon. Like I said, I'm working on my next election, man. It's beautiful. Fox News tells anchor not to call Biden president-elect. Like I said, you don't want to respect my presidency. You don't want to accept you want to accept him, but you want to accept him for your own. I heard your little speech talking about how I was, you want to save lives. That was my slogan. But like I said, the more the merrier. you infusing this gratitude within from a presidential standpoint, which is not only am I admired, I'm grateful. Governor Brown announces 2-week pause on social activities in country. I said, man, that's your personal opinion, and you have your freedom of speech. Like I said, I wouldn't declare the social activities outside a problem, but we must screen, test, and continue this uphill battle against COVID-19. That is, I mean, if you want to change the name, you can change the name, but it's still the same thing, a pandemic. And that's what I mean by hiding Biden. You don't want to address it. Neither does Trump, because neither one of y'all are presidential right now. It's a wrap. And I said, your VPs is just as, you know what I mean? And like I said, my VP is Alf. He said get rid of them nucleus and war, because right now I'm seeming to understand that all countries need each other for either agricultural or just a helping hand. So don't break those ties. But I think someone is aiming for it. Judge orders Trump administration to reveal PPP loan data it sought. Not like I said, you allow them to do certain things, so as a president, you can't de-allow them. It's in the Constitution. Oh man, and I said, well, even if you was better off with leaving them in there and continuing your onslaught, it still would have just been the same outcome. But somehow, some way, through social distancing, facial masks, and stay at home if you're sick orders, and pay sick leaves, and your freedom of speech, and what else is there again? Oh yeah, loans, and I'm still trying to get the people to them stimuluses, man. I really would like to get them stimuluses, and immediately torn. Like that would have been my first presidential order if they would have let me in the White House to my crown, my throne that's gonna be carried. You know what I mean? And y'all can be carried through the Western name. Like I said, I would love to spread love across the world, but that's far fetched from the ideals of today. Maybe I'm thinking way too big of a head in such a small mind. Buccaneers get good news. Chris Godwin expects to return for week 9 matchups. That's another thing. Can you repost the weekly NFLs on the regular weekly channels? And I got a new sponsor, Adobe Stocks. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Stock up on Adobes. Where, like I said, man, I'm trying to establish so many aspects of new prosperity, but someone wants to go back to that same old guideline. And like I said, it might be making you rich again, but like I said, I want to make the world successful, the world, because it's all we have. And that way I can be placed in a historical format under my own banner, my own what you call it, tribe nation underneath one nation. I mean, pretty much it is. It's one world. Yo, humans living. I believe so. Fox News host SARS destruct and legitimacy of election. Like I said, my election has been legitimatized and monetized. It's plenty of archives for you to go back and recap on, and they turn into a mini episode at the same time, reconstructing how digitally the world can become. I mean, it's already becoming that, but don't slow down the process because of little old me. A status quo election, says Bates, professors with disappointments surprise. Listen, you can only be disappointed if you think you're disappointed. A lot of counseling has introduced me to that point. So, with the freedom of speech, I said, that's one of the greatest things you could ever do. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like I said. Oh, and that's another thing too. Quit with the back and forth saying that it's cyberbullying going on, man. This is not cyberbullying. It's called expressing yourselves. So like I said, if you feel distraught, you have to personal opinion yourself to not feel so at any given moment, because it's not up to them to think for you anymore. They can't decide. Pandemic, no pandemic. Relief, no relief. Stimulus, no stimulus. Mask, no mask. Remote learn, no remote learn. But like I said before, it's to trigger and establish some type of anger and frustration in. Because I said to myself, it's been 4 years you allowed Trump to say and do whatever. Now it's down to the wire and Biden still ain't saying nothing. U.S. News, where's them stimuluses at, man? The people need those immediately. It's getting rough out here because then you talking about reopening. You talking about reopening. But I wouldn't do it. Because then you're going to have the same thing over again. But you go ahead. Vigo County reports COVID cases at 4 schools. I didn't predict this. I just looked at it and said to myself, you got an agenda, and I'm not trying to die behind your agenda. No. No. No, baby, no. Closure, relocation, news, business, coming soon. Listen, man. Like I said, you can't find a way to remotely open your business because someone else wants to be in power of a pandemic. When I'm explaining to you, no one has the power anymore in a pandemic. Only power you really have is to survive. And don't put others in jeopardy to do so. It's justifiable. North Dakota reports rare disease in child with COVID-19 54 minutes ago. But like I said, you're supposed to be a country looking out for the little ones. I told you they by the packs, baby. They was out here popping them babies come 2017, baby. The stimulus was rolling. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, them loans was rolling, all of that. Beautiful. When I seen you, Lama, can I get one? Can I get $1 trillion now? Can I get $1 trillion loan? Nah, I want $1 trillion. It would go to the hungry and the poor if I had $1 trillion. Infodemic complicates Wisconsin public health fight against coronavirus. Man, like I said, is the virus getting worse or getting better? Like I said, you can hide the facts. The reality speaks for itself. With that being said, peace. I gotta go.